Hey, bookish friends, I have a bit of a different video for you today because I'm going to do a tag video. I haven't done one of these for a while, I don't think, but my friend Fern, she is one of my subscribers and she has her own channel over at the Piano Man's Library. She tagged me in this a couple months ago and I'm just now getting around to doing it, but it's the train tag, which was originally done, I think, on Alan Reed's channel, so I'll link both of them down below. And let's get started with the questions. The Great Railway Bazaar, a book featuring an epic journey. Of course, I originally thought of The Lord of the Rings, but I don't have copies of those, so I picked up my copy of The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I actually have a few different copies of this one. It's less of a commitment than The Lord of the Rings, but there's still a journey because we have Bilbo. He's a hobbit and he gets hired as a robber for these dwarves who want to go reclaim their homeland and treasure under the mountain. And it has dragon. I love dragon books. And yeah, I've read this one more than once, and now my oldest loves it, and so I really enjoyed that one. The next question is Brief Encounter, Still Alive, a brief or short book you can read while waiting for a train. I have 84 Charing Cross Road by Helene Hempf. This is a collection of the actual letters between Helene and the staff at 84 Charing Cross Road, which is a bookstore in London, I believe. And Helene lived in New York City, and she was fed up with cheap versions of the books she wanted to read, or she couldn't find them, and so she reached out to this bookstore, and she got to know the main, I don't know if he was just a purchaser or manager or something like that. And she also gets to know other people from the bookstore through letters. And it's just a short read. They're all letters. And I quite enjoyed it. And the movie's not half bad either. 3. Bradshaw's Guide, a guidebook to a favorite place or thing. And for that, I have Peterson, First Guide to Wildflowers. This is just different wildflowers in America, and it's according to bloom color, and it also tells you when you can find the flowers. And it's small, it's tiny. I don't know if you can see, but it does fit in a pocket. And this is really great, especially for going out in the woods, which is when I use it the most, is in the month of April and early May. 5. Thomas the Tank Engine, a beloved children's book. I couldn't pick just one. So I have Miss Rumphius, Story and Pictures by Barbara Cooney. My now 9-year-old really enjoyed this book and was inspired by it when he was younger, and he ended up starting a whole bunch of Lupins from seed and giving them away to family members and friends and people at our church. So it has a special place in my heart because of that. And I also love Mossy by Jan Brett. I really like the illustrations of Mossy the turtle, and I like how there's actual real woodland flowers on her. And I like this story especially because they end up putting her back in the wild. I think I skipped one. Yes, I skipped number 4. A romance novel or western. Bonus points for a romantic western. I don't really read westerns, and I am picky about romance. And so the best one I can think of is The Harvester by Jean Stratton Porter. My friend Shatona and I, Buddy, read this last year, I think. And we have The Harvester. He owns this land in, I don't know if it's a real town or if she fictionalized her town, but in Indiana, which is where I'm from, and I've actually been to the Limberlost, which is referenced in here. And he decides he's going to get married, and he has this dream, and so he spends his time looking for the dream girl, but also preparing his land for having a wife. So he builds a bigger, better house, and he sources all of these plants to try to make along the driveway beautiful and having a garden that she can see from the windows. And so he's working both because he can't find her and because he wants to prepare for her to come. And so I really loved that. Let's see. Number 6, Signalman, a ghost story or horror novel. I don't actually have a physical book for this one because the only book I can think of that has like actual ghosts in it that I enjoyed is The Girl Who Kept the Castle. And then I just actually finished the sequel, The Witch Who Stormed the Palace, both by Ryan Groudon. We have Faye. She is a servant in the house of Wizard West, and Wizard West wakes up without his body one day, and it falls to her to be the one to tell him, and he curses her with cat ears and a tail. He was trying to actually turn her into a cat, but he didn't quite have enough magic for that. And so then he has been neglectful in choosing an apprentice, so they have to have this grand competition to pick an apprentice because West is one of the wizards keeping the evil Shadow Queen contained. And if there's no wizard to maintain the spell that keeps her trapped, she'll escape and cause havoc. Strangers on a Train, a new book that you hope to read this year. I really want to get to Yes, Sir Serpentine Excellency by Kate Stradling. She's one of my favorite authors. I've already mentioned that I like dragon books, and this book has a dragon in it, and it sounds funny because a dragon follows her home and sets up, I believe, a fortune teller scheme. And I just really want to read it. It's on my list to read this summer. And the final actual question is The Mystery of the Blue Train, a book with a color in the title or on the cover. And I chose Heart of Red, Blood of Blue by Rebecca Belliston. This was one of my favorite books that I read last year, I think, sometime in the past year. We have Gisela. She's born as an albino, and when she goes to her betrothal ceremony to a prince from another country, there's this great attack, and the king and the crown prince are slaughtered, and then that causes a war, and so they're trying to find a way to end the war. Really did enjoy this one, and I'd like to reread it sometime. The last one was actually to tag others, but I don't actually like tagging people. So yeah, feel free to answer any of these questions in the comment section. Let me know if you have a good recommendation for any of these questions. And until next time, happy reading.